I love being seen, I love being acknowledged. I'm someone who loves to perform, and just my daily life is really a lot of performance. And I love when people acknowledge it, when it brings joy and smiles to people's faces. So I can just imagine that it would be awful if the way I lived my life, the way I expressed myself was upsetting to people, and for no justifiable reason. It would really suck, it would really make life unbearable.
It's hard because often we are never really considered for anything. We're never prioritized except it comes to scoring cheap points. And so now, today, in this particular political climate, it is extremely important that I see other people around me, because Ghana has taught me that if I do not see them, nobody else will see them. And that's what it means for me to be invisible. That it's okay, they do not have to see us because they have made a habit of not seeing us. We have found ways to see each other, and we will continue to find ways to see each other, because that is what it means to be next generation. It means being able to survive and thrive against all odds.
Makes me feel small and shrunken and minimized.
To not be seen, to not be heard, to not be felt, it's a kind of death on its own.
When I think of what it means to exist and thrive, very core parts of that, very essential parts of that are being heard, being seen, being valued. And that's why it makes sense that we say things like, man, you gave me so much life. When you have a friend who listens to you, who makes the time to see you and see your issues and your flaws and your struggles and still want to be with you.
For me, it's more about trying to find my place or my tribe or my people, and that's always been difficult. Always trying to see where you belong and trying to belong to a certain tribe, people who understand you, who know how you think, how you feel.
We are often someone in light of someone else acknowledging us. So being unseen is at times not being acknowledged as beings and as ourselves. And so it requires for one to have a very strong sense of self and personal affirmations that remind us and ourselves that we will remain who we are and we will always be.
Active steps have been taken to present an anti-LGBT bill to Ghana's staunchly homophobic parliament. The passing of this bill will further incense hate and attacks on the queer community. We call upon all believers of democracy and fundamental rights, the custodians of order, rule of law, and equality of all mankind, and all present to lend their time, effort, intellect, and voice to the cause of stemming the tide of an abominable and dangerous bill known as Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Act 2021.
Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the official premiere online release of Eyes But No Eyes. This is a very important song and plays a big role in the telling of our story towards the release of this album later on this year. It's also good to see that our objectives and ideas have remained intact and aligned from conception, although not without challenges, but we're on our way and I'm really excited about tonight. I'm looking forward to the conversations afterwards. Enjoy the video and we'll speak soon. Thank you.
hearts, but them know they feel. Some too they get mine, but them know they think. That be why we all day inside the boat where we they sink. I say them.
I just wanna get into it, straight into it, and really just kind of talk about the idea behind the video and just how important it was for us to make this video, and the idea was to use darkness to speak in volumes, is in the sense of being in the darkness, being underinformed, being unseen, being blind, figuratively speaking, and also trying to step out into the light to be acknowledged and to be heard. And it's crazy that we have all the resources, and yet somehow we seem to be just looking out for our immediate needs as individuals and forgetting the masses, the populace, the people, and especially young people. And growing up in Ghana, and I'm sure in other places on the continent and even elsewhere in Europe, it's like the most dire thing to see is the next generation not knowing what the future holds, being in the dark. If you look out into what's going on in Ghana at the moment, you would have thought that this was just like an opportunity for us to really highlight what's going on in Ghana at the moment, what with everything, and with the LGBTQIA plus community and how they're being witch hunted, and just state of affairs and the gross corruption and everything that's going on in Ghana, and just like the belligerence of the government and the dismissiveness of how they're dealing with everything that's going on. It hurts me that everything falls in place for the release of this song. Do you see what I mean? Because it's like every time I see this, it just reminds me of, this is not your standard music video. But the idea is to create this discomfort, and these long scenes that make you wonder what's going on here, what's going to happen here, and allow you to actually focus on the music and then try and reconnect with the images and the outlines of lights and so on and so forth.
Okay, hey.
Hey.
This is so beautiful. I'm so excited, and I'm on my own in my apartment, and I'm just smiling, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this energy. But so congratulations, first of all, and thank you so much for putting this together. The thing that fascinates me most about artists is that the good ones, at least, kind of express traumas that they themselves are experiencing as citizens of the society that they're in. So my question is, who holds you as you hold us in art?
Some of us are like sadists, you know what I mean? So it's like, as soon as we find someone to hold us, then we lose touch with with what's going on the ground, and how to fully, submit ourselves for the representation of others, But I've got a support system. My team that I work with is very supportive, both off and on the job. My family unit is very strong. I've got cousins, and my immediate family is very supportive. And I've got friends, who I can have very, important conversations with, who give me good perspectives and insight, and how to kind of sometimes let go of things. I mean, there's a few of them here. Shout outs to Rania. I'm not putting you in there, but I think, I have to keep a good support system around me. But for the most part, I also have to really dive in head first and just feel everything, because that's what allows me to adequately represent or speak the truths that other people wouldn't have the platform to speak on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But say this, really, we love this, all this drama. We love it. Really.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you very
Nifemi.
much for. I'm good, man. Thank you for the video, the music. I love everything that you're doing this year and all your work from the past.
Thank you.
A lot of things are happening in Ghana, as you can tell. I'm Nigerian. Very, very similar, right? Dumso. Oh, we've had electricity problems since before I was born. And as you look at everything that's happening, one quote I like from Fela Kuti was, why is it that in Africa, as time moves forward, it seems like things seem to be going backwards all the time, right? How do you see music impacting, the next generation, or do you even feel music can really change things to help us catch up? And I'm even just talking about catching up at this point, which seems like a big task. Where do you see music's role in this, let's say, switching the system around?
I the theme of tonight was for me to ask you guys the questions, but let me look, man, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I've got the answers or whatnot. I can only do like my part. And I mean, ever since, I started making music professionally, my thing has to just bring the social commentary and observation, sometimes even within myself, and try and be as introspective as possible. I think that artists have always played a very important role in documenting and presenting to the world what's really going on. And it's our job as artists, as people who have platforms, as people who are reaching out to people in any possible form, to really speak on things, and to also use our platforms to give other people who don't have that privilege, so to speak, to present different things that we wouldn't see otherwise. I think that's all we can do. I mean, this song, for instance, it's really about being seen, being acknowledged, being noticed, being brought into the room, being sat at the table, having a voice, being looked after. We need a lot of looking after as a people, and there's like a scramble at this point. Everybody's like, and I always say this, like, as an artist in Ghana, you are an entrepreneur, you're on your own. There's no structures, there's no industry, as we like to call it. It's like you're on your own. Whether you're a singer, whether you're a painter, whatever it is, it's like there's no system that supports you. And that goes for everything else, so to speak,
Yeah.
So it's about sharing our spaces and sharing, and giving each other platforms and collaborating and speaking up and being there and showing up and, going punk. I think that's really, it's like we need to go punk. There's too much soft shit out there.
Yeah, go
honest.
punk.
There's too much soft bullshit out there, and we can dance, but we can also say things, and that's really what I'm about. We can say things in our dance, but it has to mean something. Where it's a critical situation right now. Too dire for us to just want to go my baby and you the boss my brain. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But also there's like enough of that, for us to talk about other things and not necessarily be political and be, irreverent and whatnot. But there's things to look at, to talk about, and that goes for all the disciplines in the arts, And I just wanted to ask, like, anybody really, like, when you look out there, like wherever you are, I mean, I was in England a couple of days ago, and it's like when you walk out to your house and you look out and you're like, what does the future hold for me? Especially for Ghanaians and Africans, it's like when you look at what's going on in Ghana, how do you feel? Do you feel like there's something in store for you? Do you feel like there's a future? Do you feel seen? Do you feel like there's a place for you to just exist and thrive? Like, this is like, I'm just asking this because of how I feel when I look at my home country, Ghana. It's like I feel so like on my own.
Look, I'm just one person, but based on so many things that happened last week and so many conversations I've had, sometimes it can feel very hopeless, honestly. Like, you can feel extremely helpless, extremely angry, extremely lost as to there's so much to do and what do you do about it? And that takes a lot of energy. I personally don't believe in giving up. Just like you said, show up. Show up even when it seems hopeless. Show up even when it's fucked up. Show up no matter how, broken things are. Because sometimes it's when you get those broken pieces together and you see them and you acknowledge them and you actually bend down to pick them up one by one and put them together. That's sometimes where you find your way. No matter in what way. Maybe today you can do it, a little bit, tomorrow it's more, the next day you gather more momentum, whatever. Even on your worst day, try to do something.
So I live in Canada and I'm Ghanaian. I was born and raised in Ghana. And a lot of the times I just feel like, how can I help my country? And then I see what's happening on TV and then I hear the news and I'm like, well, I don't think this is going to work because of how the government is treating people, how they're not helping the citizens to the extent or even help provide things for them to be able to move forward, create jobs for them to move forward. And, I'm an aspiring musician as well. And as you said, Mensa, there's a lot of baby going on, your waist and all those things happening, and I just think of trying to speak positivity and then speak truth and just give people courage through my music, right? So this is how I've been feeling about Ghana. And
well, thank you very much. Amazing music. And it's very strange when you hear a track for the second time, but somehow it just seems right. It seems like you've known it for a long time. It's a good one. I just wanted to ask a question about the emotional tenor of the song. There's different ways you can raise issues. There's different ways you can make a point. And it's a really compassionate song. It's appeals to people's better nature. It's kind of inviting people who, my feeling is that it's inviting people who might be potentially homophobic in the middle ground to think twice and to ask the question, am I seeing things clearly? I have eyes, but I'm not seeing. It's not that you're not saying people are blind. You're saying you have eyes, but you're not seeing. And it's quite a inviting, hopeful approach. And I was just curious when you kind of landed on your approach to raise these issues, because like I say, there are very many different valid ways to raise these kinds of issues. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think for me, my nature is to be quite curious and also observant. So for me, a lot of the times I don't feel like I have all the answers or I have any answers or I have the answer. And so for me, what I tend to do is to ask questions, and I feel like if you, like you say, look into things properly and research properly, and am I seeing things? Am I opening my eyes? Am I paying attention to what's going on? Then I can ask the right questions. And I feel like that's how real conversations begin, when you ask the right questions. And so for me, instead of being like a preachy musician or, one that's like, what they say, speaking truth or kicking knowledge and whatnot, I tend to want to to question things, question status quo, and make people think things over, think about things again from different perspectives, different angles. For me, it's like it's about, and funny enough, shout outs to Manifest who showed up tonight. Like the song we released last month was Question for the Gods, and it was just a light take on just like questioning and asking questions that might be playing in our minds, and so on and so forth. So it's about just curiosity. I think it's, to be an artist is important to be curious and to really constantly look out into the world and just ask questions. I can't say that enough.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I know that there are some songs that, like, as an artist, you write them and you, at least me, like, I've been scared of the song, and I think that's my question to you. If do you have any of that kind of fear about this song, and or and if not, then awesome, But I think for me, this would be the kind of song that seems extremely personal and universal at the very same time.
Right.
And those have a weight to them that I just want to pick your brain on.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that makes sense.
I think I get it. I think for me, my only fear when I write these things, also because this is like the kind of music I write has a lot to do with my nature. And when I go to this place where it's just like, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't seem right, I completely immerse myself, and I'm ready for whatever comes with it. You know what I mean? I think that's really what we should do as artists, is to be complete and be absolute in everything that we immerse ourselves or even attempt, or all our endeavors. And I think the rest will just take care of itself. I hate to stress about this, like what's going to happen. My only stress is that not enough people are going to hear it. Not because I want to be famous for it, but I just want it to inspire others, to really go against the grain, to really start paying attention to things, and in return, artists create more art. For me, it's like I want Ghanaians to just really step up and just do some cool shit, in terms of like creating music. Like I don't really worry about all that other stuff. So I don't know if that answers your question, Charlie. Have no fear, man. No fears. Really, I appreciate you making the time, and not without saying thank you to Irena Donati, who's been like my soldier, sidekick, pain in the ass, super genius. And also thank you to, Ivan Aite, who did the post editing and coloring on this video. And once again, to all of you, shout outs to Alvin Bequay, who's executive produced this, and all of you who have supported my art, my music. And we're looking forward to releasing the album later on this year around October. Yo, man, thank you so much, guys. And this has been incredible.